What's up, everybody? I want to make this video about learning foreign languages. Learning a foreign language is very important to people based on if what you're trying to do, like for business purposes. Like, I know a lot of people today are going into business, working for themselves or working for a corporation, and speaking another language will really open a lot of doors for you. I mean, the reason why you should learn a foreign language is due to the fact of multiple reasons. Let me just state some of them. One reason is because you get to learn another culture. Like, Americans have this elitist attitude that if they go to another person's country, they expect them to speak English to them. And if that person doesn't speak English to them, they should go and find someone that speaks English. Like many Americans, some people, I can't say for all, but many people, many Americans, when they travel to another country, they don't care to learn another language. They just have this behavior that I'm American, so you have to speak English to me. You know, it doesn't always work that way. Some people can't speak English very well. You know, and some people are like, well, this is our land, so we're not gonna learn English for you. You learn our language. Like for example, like when you go to all these like Caribbean countries, like a Dominican Republic and all that stuff, many people there don't speak English. Many of them do not speak English, and the ones that do speak, some of them speak very bad English. In the sense where you can't even translate what they're saying. But some people do speak good English over there, but they're not many. So, you know, learning another language is very beneficial when you go to another land. You know, another reason why you should learn another language is because of business purposes. If you're going to work in another country that speaks very limited English, it will be best for you to, you know, try to attempt to learn the language. I know, like, many people like going to France, right? The French do speak English, but I can tell you it's not many. To what I've heard, not many French people speak English. Some of them do. If you go to Paris, yeah, many of them do, but it's not everyone you will come engaged with that will speak good English. You know, just like you have like some people when they go to China or when they go to Japan, a lot of those people don't speak English. Some of them do, because I know because most I think Japan that's a bilingual country where everybody at least knows the basics of English. They know the basics, but they don't know like all. They don't know enough to have like a fluent conversation. You know, I'm thinking for the average person. I'm not saying for all of them. So if you're gonna work in a foreign country, it's best you go and learn their language because some people can actually live in a foreign land and not learn a language at all. Like I think someone was saying some story like some people lived in Mexico. They never cared to learn They never cared to learn Spanish. You know, they never cared to learn Spanish. In some people probably live in freaking Quebec, or some people live in France, and they don't care to learn the language because they got around with English, so they don't feel the need to get around with. They don't feel the need to make the effort to learn that language. You know, and that's part of the reason why some people they hate Americans because you go to their country and not learn their language, but when immigrants come to America, you expect them to know English. You know, see, when you learn another language, it opens doors. It's it's more of a respect thing. You know what I mean? It's more like I'm learning your language because okay, I know your language now. It shows that I respect your culture. But if you live in another country and you don't care to attempt to learn another language, I don't see I don't see the use in that, you know? But this is I want to say this. When I was in Quebec, I was in Montreal, a lot of people there spoke English. I spoke very limited French. I barely spoke French because I was like nervous that nobody would even, because I was nervous that people, how would they hear what I'm saying, you know? But at the same time, it's like, I made an effort to learn. It's like, I get that little respect factor, you know what I mean? And the thing is about learning a second language, this is the part I want to tell people now. If you want to learn a second language, these are the tips I'm going to tell you how to do it. One, get yourself a tutor. Like some people teach themselves how to speak another language like Spanish and French and all that stuff. It's cool, but you need someone to practice with so you know what you're saying is correct or is not correct. Sometimes you may say things they may not be that may not be acceptable, or somebody may find it offensive because of the way you said it or the tone you said it. Because that's the point of learning a second, another language. You know, having a tutor is very important, and also, I get a pen pal. Most pen pals will be excited that you want to learn their language because most of the time we have a pen pal. Most of the time you guys can exchange languages. Like if you're American, you teach them English and they teach you their language, you know? Those are the things that are very useful in a second language. I mean, studying vocabulary in the book, see, learning from textbooks and all that stuff, I don't find it useful. I don't even find it useful to have all these like apps and stuff. I mean, apps are useful to some degree, but visual learning is the best. If you're walking with somebody, if you're walking with somebody and you're walking with them, like they can tell you how to say this. For example, this is how you say this in French, or this is how you say this in Spanish. You know what I mean? Like that's how you learn. I'm more of a visual learner. Cause I don't want to like study vocabulary. Then it's like, you know, all the vocabulary, but you don't know the actual grammar on how to say it. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things. And also another thing, if you're about to learn a second language, you cannot be afraid to make a mistake. That's the thing you have to understand. Like most people, if you say certain things, most people know that you are a new speaker of the language. Like if you're learning Spanish and you say some words like como estás and está bien and all that stuff. If you start saying all that, some people, by the way you say it, some people will know that you are a new learner of Spanish. So they're not gonna hold it against you when you make a mistake. Because this is what you encounter when you learn a new language, right? You have different types of people, right? You have the type of people where when you make a mistake, they will correct you. They'll say, no, that's not how you say it. You say it like this, right? There are some people out there who will try to speak English to you. Like if you say something, right, in Spanish, and they can't understand what you're saying, they'll just say to you like, do you speak English? Or they will say to you in English, right? You have those type of people. Then you have the type of people where if you don't speak fluently, they're not even going to talk to you at all. And, that's just the way that's the way some people are. So mastering the language is very important. And if people don't, if people don't want to correct you when you say something wrong, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all because your job is to learn, right? So take it as a learning experience. Don't be afraid to make a mistake when you learn a language. Like I see all these like people, some people out there I've seen people who speak 4 languages. Some people who speak like 5 languages. Like this is insane. Like I'm looking at myself, I can only speak like 1 to 2 languages and I'm learning French right now. So it's like, I'm not too worried about, my level of experience. I'm working hard every day so I can, master the language and master French. That's my goal, is to learn French right now. And, you know, it's just the way it goes. Like, the guy who made Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. That guy learned how to speak. He learned Chinese. Like, this dude was already a billionaire, has all the stuff he wanted in life, and he decided to learn Chinese. Like, that's a huge step, because he's part of the reason why I want to learn French right now. Anyway, well, not he's part of the reason why I was encouraged to learn French again. You know, it intrigued me, because being bilingual is it's very important. Some people it is. Like, I hear stories like people are traveling to the Caribbean islands. They go to Dominica, they go to a Dominican Republic, or they go to Cuba. They don't learn Spanish at all. And they go there multiple times. They don't learn Spanish. They just go to kick it and whatever. If you're going for tourism, that's cool. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to live there for at least 3 months at a time, 4 months at a time, why not just learn the language? You know? So those are my tips on how to learn a foreign language. So let me know what you think. Peace.